It's important you don't burn out, because if you do a lot and then you're out like the last 10 days, the last 10 days and nights, then it's important. Because mentioned like the Prophet was telling me like Ahya ul Layl, like he will bring life to the night during those nights, because in his Laylatul Qadr, like that night can be life changing for someone. So it's important that just build up slowly, and then you go ham in those last 10 nights, not the other way around. You go ham and then you're just sleeping.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
We're back again with another episode today with the brothers at Medina College. Today we'll be talking about a very important topic of Ramadan, preparing for Ramadan, pre-Ramadan episode. So inshallah we'll be sharing a lot of benefits and you guys can benefit from it. This will be the last episode for this season. So comment down below what you'd like us to do for the next season. So let's get straight into it, lads. Ramadan, he's ready. Come on, man. Preparation, and these men are giving me like half-hearted answers.
I came too quick, man. There's literally 1 week left, innit?
Yeah. It's gonna go quick as well. I'll tell you right now. So anyways, the virtues of Ramadan. Who would like to start? Thank you, Isa.
No. I started last time. I like that. Start last time. Let us start, innit?
Okay, go on, come on, man.
Sheikh Asad, fam. Come on.
What was the question, sorry? The virtues of Ramadan. So the virtues of Ramadan, there's plenty that have been mentioned in the hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. There's a long hadith, a hadith Qudsi. I won't mention all of it, but some of the stuff that Allah mentions is that every act of the son of Adam is for himself, except for fasting. And that is for Allah, and Allah alone will reward it from himself. And also, like, fasting is a shield, as like it protects you from like sins and stuff like that. Because when you're fasting, like, obviously there's certain things that will break your fast and stuff like that. So it's a shield in that way as well. And also it's mentioned hadith that there's a gate in Jannah called Ar-Rayyan, and that gate is only for people who used to fast. It will be called out like who used to fast, like in the thing, and they will enter through that gate. So like there's a lot of virtues and like a lot of like benefits and fadail that come from Ramadan and from fasting in general as well.
Adding to what you said about all of the actions of the son of Adam are for himself, apart from some which is for Allah and he rewards it. Like it was some of the scholars, they mentioned like on Yawm al-Qiyamah, you might have like wronged someone. All your actions can be given to that person apart from Siyam, because that's, as Allah says, it's for him and he rewards it. So your Siyam is protected. You understand? Even if you wrong someone, you still keep that reward for your Siyam. And what he said as well about the whole point of Ramadan, is to increase your taqwa. So a person, what he leaves off in Ramadan, the food and drink and the other stuff, is something that's usually halal for the person. So if he trains his nafs, by doing this stuff, then leaving off the sins that is actually prohibited for him, it will make that easier. Understand?
Yeah. It'll be easier for him to carry on after Ramadan as well.
Yeah, and just to add on with the virtues of fasting, based on what Asad and Mustafa said, the reason why fasting is so special and such an amazing reward is given to the person that fasts for the sake of Allah, is that when you're fasting, no one knows that you're fasting. Say you're fasting voluntarily. With prayer and other things like that, you can fall into riyah somehow, innit? Even if fasting you can, but it's just less likely because you're fasting. No one knows you're fasting. Do you get it? So that's another virtue of fasting as well. It will make it easy for you to be sincere and do it for the sake of Allah. And just wanted to mention something about fasting. There's a hadith the Prophet ﷺ said, من صام رمضان إيمانا واحتسابا غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه. Whoever fasts Ramadan with firm belief and seeking the reward of Allah, غفر له ما تقدم من ذنبه, his past sins will be forgiven. Imagine, a lot of people actualize that hadith, like they don't internalize it. Like your past sins are forgiven, innit? So that's why you have to prepare for this month. And it's literally around the corner, innit? So now we need to prepare for this month and try to reap the rewards, inshallah.
And also, just quickly, the sins that you mentioned, it's the minor sins.
Yeah,
the major sins, it requires tawbah. Just to clarify that.
Barakallahu feek.
Yeah, another virtue of Ramadan, like obviously it's a month of fasting, but it's also a month of the Quran. Allah says, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. You know, this is the month that the Quran was revealed. So it's a month of fasting, but in addition to that, it's a month of the Quran. You know, Shaykh Salih Al-Fawzan, he explains this ayah and he says that, you know, this month is a time, you know, where you spend greater time in reciting the Quran and doing tadabbur of the Quran than any other time in a year. You know, obviously it's praiseworthy to obviously recite the Quran during the rest of the year, but to a greater extent in this particular month, because in Ramadan it's multiplied as
I've heard even like seeking knowledge, you can seek knowledge throughout the whole year, but I heard the scholars of the Salaf, they said when it comes to Ramadan, all the fiqh books, all the kutub are closed, then they open the Quran, they go in with the Quran. And I heard even Imam Shafi'i, if he completed the Quran 2 times a day, right? Subhanallah. That's how you know they went in with Quran.
I think they used to shut the madrasas as well.
Yeah, everything used to be closed.
Yeah, so they just focus on their personal connection with the Quran, and that's why I feel like Ramadan is more of a personal connection between you and Allah.
Deep there though. 2
that's
one day.
Wow, that's crazy.
Subhanallah, man.
Some people can't do it in a month, like just one khatam in a month. It's because there's another thing as well, like Allah blesses your time if you're really sincere. He puts barakah in your time.
Definitely.
And I feel like people need to understand why we need to fast in Ramadan. Like, what's the purpose of Ramadan? And the answer for this is in Surah Baqarah, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. It has been prescribed to you, Ramadan, so that you may achieve righteousness. That's the whole aim of Ramadan. Think of it like a training ground, yeah? You've got 1 month to just absolutely just go hard, innit? Because in Ramadan, you're going to increase your acts of ibadah, innit? And when Ramadan finishes, you can like understand, like, and analyze yourself, like, okay, this is what I was doing in Ramadan, so this is my potential. So throughout the year, you can push it even more. Do you get it? Because some people say, I can't do this, I can't do that. But once they give the opportunity, and Ramadan facilitates that, because everyone's on the same wavelength, everyone's fasting, everyone's, you know, their desires have decreased a little bit. So like it's easier for them to do acts of ibadah and to maximize in their worship. So that's how you know your actual potential in Ramadan. So that's why you should go all out. But yeah.
Yeah, it goes back to the hadith, إذا جاء رمضان فتحت أبواب الجنة. So when Ramadan enters, the gates of paradise are open. So going back to what Abdullah was saying, it's like an opportunity. Like you need to utilize this opportunity. You know, the gates of paradise are open. So yeah, it goes on to building habits. It goes on to building habits, you know, during Ramadan, so you can continue them, you know, after, as you mentioned. Right.
I think a lot of what we mentioned in our past episodes, a lot of it all comes together in Ramadan.
100%.
Like you have to have patience, you have to build good habits.
The Quran as well. Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of things
be patient as well.
Yeah. So all of that stuff, like it just comes together. It's like this is where like it's showtime basically, innit? Also, like, you know, when, for example, when there's like biographies of like the scholars and stuff like that, and they're being praised by the other scholars, a lot of times it's mentioned that they used to fast the days and pray the nights, right? Obviously they used to do it throughout the year, but deep in Ramadan, more often than not, inshallah, hopefully everyone, they're all fasting days and praying the nights. Think about it. So deep how much barakah is in that whole month, and deep if you do it for the entire year, like year round, you're always fasting and always praying. That's like the level of the scholars, you know what I'm saying? That's the ulama, they used to fast all the time and pray all the time. I think there was a narration of Ibn Umar. He said that he was on his deathbed and he said, like, what was the last thing you'd want to do? He said, I miss like fasting on a hot day, because he knows how much barakah is in that fast. Especially in the summer, because obviously like the last few Ramadans have been in the summer, innit? It's much harder obviously because it's hotter and the days are much longer. But just think of it as like that's more reward for you because you're struggling more. You know what I'm saying? You're struggling against your nafs more.
Inshallah. Okay, so the next point, how to plan for Ramadan. How would you plan for Ramadan to make it as fruitful as it can be?
Obviously, you plan before the month even starts, innit? Like, make a timetable, make a realistic timetable, but don't be scared to push yourself. That's one thing. Make a realistic one, because if you try to do too much, then you're going to just burn out. But just try to do what you're 100% sure you can do, but then just push it by, I don't know, 2%. Because you can actually like do a lot in Ramadan. But yeah, I'd just say make a timetable. To be honest, just make a timetable.
I say
Like
maybe a timetable is good as well. But for some people, timetables don't work. Do you know what I mean? So like whatever work, like we said in the habits video, whatever works for you, and sometimes it's like a to-do list. Sometimes it's just like, you know, a timetable works for some people, but it's different for some people, isn't it?
Sure.
So like, what's going to say? Go on. Sorry, go ahead. You're itching to say.
Let's say when you said timetable, because you see, if you say make it realistic to yourself, and you're gonna base it on your current situation, innit?
Yeah.
So you're gonna probably, it's not gonna be the max, probably gonna be the minimum. If you keep that as a timetable, that's you minimizing the benefits you're gonna get for this Ramadan, innit? I'm saying update that timetable. So set yourself like something realistic, and then once you start practicing that, you realize you got more time and you can do more. Always update it. Don't just stick to the timetable. Always try to improve it.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. What was you gonna say?
I was gonna say something else. Also like for example, try and start your goals before Ramadan. So like, for example, you're not gonna just go into Ramadan like day starts and bam, you're doing all these things that you weren't doing the whole year round. For example, reading the Quran. Some people they're not reading the Quran the whole year, and they think Ramadan's gonna come and I'm just gonna bang out like that. It's gonna be much harder for you. Do you know what I'm saying? But you need to like I don't know if you've seen like races and stuff like that. They like kind of slowly come in, and then they
You
like
have to go through the gears, man.
Yeah, exactly. You have to,
No, it's cheese.
I think you have to definitely, because you're just lying to yourself if you think that you can just, as soon as Ramadan starts, bam, you're just doing all of that, like everything.
Yeah.
Even with fasting, like obviously you can do it, but it's going to be much harder for you. You know, so if you already have that past experience of fasting and reading the Quran all the time, and it's like it's like you're used to it basically, then it'll just be much easier for you to carry that on into Ramadan and just increase it basically. Like for example, you do like a few pages a day, every day as usual.
Yeah.
In Ramadan, you can do even more than that. So there's more reward for you. Do you know what I'm saying? But even then, it's each to their own. But I'd advise that even if it's small, even if it's tiny bit, then just start like
Something's
small.
better than nothing, man.
Yeah, exactly. But important thing is to start before, so that when you get into Ramadan, then it's easier for you, basically.
Yeah. You guys want to add anything?
Like it's important, like you don't burn out, because if you do a lot and then you're out like the last 10 days, the last 10 days and nights, then it's
important.
Because mentioned like the Prophet was telling me like Ahya ul-Layl, like he will bring life to the night during those nights, because in his Laylatul Qadr, you know, like that night can be, you know, life changing for someone. So it's important that you know just build up slowly, and then you go ham in those last 10 nights, not the other way around. You go ham and then you're just asleep.
It goes back to what you were saying, like the gears. Let's go straight. Don't just go like head on. Ease your way into it.
It's true. The final lap in it, you got.
Yeah.
0 to 60 takes time to get to 60. You get it? No.
You're right.
Listen.
Have you got your license?
Soon come, inshallah.
But yeah, like Laylatul Qadr khayru min alfi shahr, you know, it's better than 1,000 months.
Yeah.
So definitely like those last 10 nights, so much barakah, and like the best nights of the year, you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, definitely don't waste
Try not to burn out.
Yeah.
Lowest half.
Yeah.
Kind of like football, I'm joking. Anyways, on to the next point. What not to do in Ramadan. So what should we not do during Ramadan? The list is long, can't lie.
Yeah, but I say like a main principle in it, don't diminish the reward of your fast by sinning, basically. Like people, like even they won't even think about, but they're sinning and it's just reducing the reward of their fast. It might not break it, but it's just reducing the reward like massively sometimes. Like people will backbite, they're still backbiting in Ramadan, they're insulting other people, stuff like that. Like leave all of that, like obscene talk, all of that, like leave that, because that will diminish the reward, like, and you won't even realize. Yeah, I think that's the main thing that people need to understand.
We should use this month as like something to help get rid of those kind of habits.
Yeah, that's true as well, yeah.
So you still delving into those kind of things, it's just going to make it harder for yourself in the long run.
Yeah.
Do you want to add something?
I was going to say the opposite. And like what not to do, and then I was thinking what to do instead. So for example, if you're not used to going to pray in the masjid for the daily salawat, if you're a male, then you should try use this month to do that, because you'll see a lot of people in the masjid in Ramadan, innit?
Yeah.
So that I feel like it's easier for you to attend the masjid as well. So try build a habit in Ramadan to go to the masjid every day, and then after when Ramadan finishes, it'll be much more easier for you, innit?
Inshallah.
That's another bad habit that we should get rid of. Like if you're a man, shouldn't pray at home. try not to pray at home, especially Isha and Fajr.
Yeah.
And the reward for Isha is like praying in Jama'ah, is like praying half the night, Qiyam al-Layl. And the reward in Fajr, praying the whole Fajr in Jama'ah, and praying Fajr in Jama'ah is like praying Qiyam al-Layl the whole night. The hadith.
Also, I would say try not to miss Tarawih as well. If you're a man, try and go to as many as you can, like that your schedule allows you to. Like if you're free that night, then go to the masjid, go for Tarawih and stand the whole time as well. Because deep it's the night and there's so much barakah in Tarawih and in the night prayers, we all know. So I think it's definitely like an opportunity as well to get a lot of reward. And also I think a lot of people, they develop a strong connection with Salah through Tarawih, because it's like everyone comes every single day, it's packed out the masjid. The tilawat is like, it's beautiful, do you know what I mean?
They get connected with the Quran.
Yeah, so it connects you with the Quran as well. Like you ponder over it more, like you ponder over the verse more. And I think that's very important that you utilize the Tarawih and try and get as much reward from that as well.
Yeah, man. Especially when you go to Tarawih and if you don't know what they're saying in the recitation, but you can see people crying and stuff, bro.
Yeah.
That alone just soften your heart, man. But yeah, did you want to add anything?
I was gonna say something like, his point. Some people they might be busy. Like they might have come back from work, and they're probably like they're not able to pray Qiyam al-Layl. But there's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like if you pray Tarawih, man qama ma'a al-imam hatta yansarif. Whoever stands with the imam until he leaves, kutiba lahu Qiyam al-Layl. So it's written for him Qiyam al-Layl. For like he was praying the whole night basically. So some people they might have work the next morning and they're not going to be able to pray Qiyam al-Layl. Just stand with the imam, pray Tarawih with him, finish, and then you can go to sleep, and it's been written for you that you're praying Qiyam al-Layl.
With the witr, right?
Huh? With the witr until the imam leaves. Yeah.
Because some people they pray 4 and then just cut.
Yeah.
Finish off, inshallah.
So whatever masjid they're doing, innit? If they're doing 20 or if they're doing 8, just stay until the end, innit? Whatever, yeah. That's what the hadith indicates.
Especially in the last 10 days as well. The last 10 days, try catch Laylatul Qadr. There's a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ mentioned, Man qama Laylatul Qadri iman wa ihtisaba ghufra Allahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. Whoever stands in the night of decree, Laylatul Qadr, iman, and with strong faith and belief, with the hope of reward of Allah, his past sins or minor sins will be forgiven. So try catch that out, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Also, just before you move on, I think we need to address sinning during Ramadan. So I know Ibn Mas'ud and Ibn Abbas, they both agree, like if you're sinning during Ramadan, the punishment is greater for that sin than if it's outside Ramadan. So obviously we're talking about what not to do during Ramadan, and obviously the main thing when you think about what not to do is, first of all, is sinning. Obviously we don't want to waste time, and we want to utilize our time in a correct manner and to do ibadah, but obviously at the same time we have to remember that sinning is also a big thing. So yeah, I know that not the amount of sins increase, but the case of it, like, as in how big it is affected during Ramadan. So that's another big thing, innit?
Yeah.
So yeah, don't waste a Ramadan. How many Ramadans have gone by?
Yeah, do you know how what you said about Ibn Mas'ud? Was it Ibn Mas'ud?
Yeah,
he said that the sin's worse in Ramadan, innit?
Yeah.
It makes sense, because if the reward of say a month is glorified so much, and then there's a lot of reward in it, that shows, like, just from understanding that, it shows that if you do something the opposite, then the punishment is obviously worse. It's like doing something haram at home might not be worse than doing something haram in the masjid. Do you get it? Because it's more holy and more sanctified. So
it's about the time and place kind of thing.
Yeah, so it makes it worse. So just try to stay away from it. And this month is very good to, like, get rid of, like, I don't know, say you're sitting with people, it's very easy to get rid of them. It's made so easy for you, because everyone knows, even the non-Muslims, they know that it's Ramadan. Like, I can't chill with my man. You get it? Even they know. Not even water. So even they know, like, okay, my man's on this thing, and so use that, just capitalize on that, and just be like, yo, can't show you man anymore, or just if you're doing haram on social media or something, it's the best way to get rid of them in Ramadan, because everyone understands that, okay, this guy's trying to change his life. Do you get it? So yeah, there's so much blessings, bro, hidden blessings. Yeah,
Could be your last Ramadan, you never know.
subhanallah. Yeah,
So you wouldn't want to waste it on some silly sins.
yeah.
Abstain from. Utilizing your time more.
I think there's a narration from the Salaf that they used to, for 6 months, they used to make dua that, like, oh, let me reach Ramadan. And the next 6 months, they'll make dua that Allah accepts the Ramadan. That's another thing as well. After Ramadan, asking Allah to accept it from you. Because obviously, we never know, like, anything could happen. Like, we have to stay sincere. I have to do it solely for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and make dua that Allah accepts it.
Yeah, well, that's a big one. I think there was a narration, I'm not sure if it's a hadith or a statement from the Salaf, but I heard, probably a hadith, I'm not sure, Allah alam, but there was someone in his grave, and then he wished to come out. He was a mujahid, by the way, he fought for the sake of Allah, and then he was wishing to come back only to witness one more Ramadan. And imagine,
I think I read a statement by Ibn al-Jawzi. He said something like, if those in the grave were to be given one wish, they would come out and experience one more Ramadan.
ask for Ramadan,
So I think it might be.
Yeah, probably that one. It's probably that one. But imagine just one more Ramadan, even though he's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it can change, bro. If imagine you got one more Ramadan, that means you're more likely to get that night of Laylatul Qadr. And that's like, what, 83 years or 84 years?
That's more than a lifetime. If you deep
Yeah,
it's more than a lifetime.
Yeah. And I don't think reward is amplified to that extent in Ramadan, apart from in Ramadan.
I think that's the, if I'm not mistaken, that's one of the things given to our ummah, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Because the Ummah in the past, like, live 950 years.
Yeah.
But we live, like, what, 60 years?
Yeah, so that's our compensation.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you make a mess out of your compensation and that's all? Yeah.
Bro, imagine if you catch just, I don't know, I imagine 10 years you've been fasting, praying Qiyamul Layl in Ramadan, whatever, for 10 years. That's like what? 83 times 10, like 800 plus years.
And it's more than that, by the way.
Yeah, probably more. Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's a mad story.
That's why you shouldn't waste your Ramadan, man.
Yeah.
It's just 1 month.
It just takes one night, fam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's good though that the whole community, obviously, everyone comes together, to be in ibadah. So if it's good that people who don't do ibadah, they're like wasting it. They're the ones who feel like on the side, they're like left out, basically. So that's good, alhamdulillah, that people, like, even if you're like you just see someone like your Muslim brother or stuff like that, just like try and motivate him, try and inspire him, trying to make him, make use of their time. Because I know a lot of people, man, they waste it, man. They treat it like it's every other year. All they're doing is, like a lot of people, all they gain from their fast is hunger and thirst. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think there was a hadith. I don't know. I can't recall it.
Yeah, it's a hadith.
Yeah. So don't be that guy, and like, don't be that person. Just all you're getting is hunger and thirst. Like, you might as well just eat, bro. Like, you're not eating and drinking, but you're doing all this nonsense.
I'm not encouraging the people to.
No. You know what I mean?
Like, you're fasting, but it's just foggy, like
it's hunger. And I think
you're not getting any reward. You're not getting
intermittent fasting, bro.
Yeah, but it's just fasting for the sake of it, literally.
Well, you're fasting because, like, everyone's fasting, so you have to
in your
jump
house.
on the bandwagon.
Because it'll be weird in suhoor if you're not hungry. I mean, even when it's iftar time and you're not hungry, like, it's weird. So that's why he's fasting. I was gonna say, since we're mentioning like what not to do in Ramadan, I feel like, just added on to what Asad said, don't be that guy that's, he says, he's a Ramadan Muslim and that. Don't be like that, innit? Because this is Ramadan. Imagine the guy's actually trying to change, innit? And you're saying, this guy only patterns up in Ramadan, this is that. You never know that Ramadan could change his life.
We spoke about this, innit? Like, how many a time has someone come out of Ramadan and they change their lives?
That's what I'm saying.
We spoke about this, innit? So
shouldn't be those type of people that would just say, Ramadan Muslim, bro. Like,
even then it shows like, you should, like, you see your Muslim brother trying to better himself. Why are you gonna put him down?
Make you happy.
Why are you gonna put him down for, like, a bit weird?
Unnecessary, man. You should abstain from that as well.
We always hear that every Ramadan. I like on Twitter, everyone, bro.
You might
not even, but
I'm not on Twitter.
What, he's lying?
No,
you see the poet, you're on Twitter, don't lie.
But listen though. You see when people do that kind of thing, wallah, it just hurts. Because you don't know how that's going to affect that person now. So another Ramadan comes, he's probably going to do less No, because
Yeah, 'cause you're gonna
think,
put him off,
these
like-
men are all gonna think like I'm just
I'm a
doing
Ramadan
it just
Muslim,
for.
Yeah, no, that's a
And then you start doubting your actions and stuff. It's bright.
when people are starting, like, if say this is your first Ramadan, like, or you're like your first Ramadan properly practicing, or you're trying, then don't let those type of people like demotivate you. Just keep going and like use this month as a change, and inshallah that may Allah allow you to continue your progress after Ramadan for the whole year, inshallah.
Yeah,
I mean,
more of them. Yeah,
but, yeah.
You're probably doing better than that person that does that statement, to be honest.
obviously, because
It's not from good manners.
the
It's
person
not
that's
from good
saying that is somewhat coming from an angle of arrogance or ignorance, so they don't know what they're saying.
You should never be content. Like, he can change. He can become worse, and the other guy can become better.
Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
Allah can change the hearts. That's just like that.
Yeah, even that, like I used to be told when I was younger, like someone who takes a shahada at his last moment, like he might be better than you because he has no sins.
Yeah, what?
So like when you've looked down on that person throughout the whole lifespan, imagine on their deathbed they're like they want to take the shahada and they've taken the shahada, they're in a better position than you ever will be because they've got no sins. They're clean slate, innit? So
I think Ibn Taymiyyah said that, like, what doesn't matter is flawed beginnings. What matters is
how you end.
good endings. Yeah.
إنما الأعمال بالخواتيم. Indeed, actions are basically judged by the ending.
Yeah,
innit?
no, I'm sorry.
It can be good your whole life at the end, and then you just fall off. It's like the hadith from Arba'un Nawawi. I mean, when the person's he's promised Jannah, he's close to Jannah, but just one arm span away, and he gets thrown into the hellfire from what he done. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, I mean, man.
Also, the other way, one person could be one cubit from Jahannam, and he'll enter Jannah.
Yeah, one arm span again. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Let's talk about sleep.
Sleep.
Yeah.
Sleep is going to be very difficult in it because if you're praying Tarawih and then you got suhoor as well. So yeah,
I can't lie. This one, yeah.
I'm terrible with sleep.
I'm still recovering from 2016.
I had sleep since I was 14, bro.
One time I didn't sleep one time after Tarawih until Suhoor, yeah. I finished my sleeping routine completely. Since then,
how do we counter this? Come on.
asking the wrong people, I don't know.
It depends on your
It depends on your
situation.
timetable as well. Like, it depends on.
Get on this issue. Get on this mess.
Yeah, this guy just sleeps, bro. He just he just sleeps, bro. He just, if he touches his head, if he touches his bed, he just sleeps, bro. But this depends on everyone, innit?
I feel like it just depends on the time of Ramadan. Because during like summertime, like the previous ones, yeah, Tarawih was very late, like kind of late, and you'll finish late. So you won't be able to sleep between the end of Tarawih until Fajr, innit? But now I feel like it's a good amount now.
Yeah, I think we'll finish at like 10-ish, innit?
Yeah,
you're able to
11 max.
I think you're able to sleep after Tarawih.
Come home, sleep.
Good
have a
4 hours.
Yeah.
4 hours. You can pay the rest to like during the midday or something.
Yeah.
I think that's a good
midday
one.
nap, innit?
Yeah.
Forgotten Sunnah.
Either sleep. Yeah, trust
Going
me.
off from that, yeah. I know, man, them, they comes to Ramadan, they sleeping all day and then they just break their fast. Like, you just wasted a day, bro. Like a midday nap is good, yeah, but don't spend the whole day. Like, I know.
Sleeping and that, yeah.
I
What
know,
is
wake
true?
up, like,
I'm
1
hungry,
o'clock.
I'm hungry. Let me go sleep.
Pray a little, go back to sleep, maybe miss Asr and whatever, and then wake up for Maghrib and just eat. Like, there's
And
no
then plus
point
they
in it.
expect food and everything. Everything's
Yeah.
done for them as well.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing we should talk about though.
As in-
No, wait, let's finish.
That's another thing we should talk about.
Let's finish.
We
the
don't have the
sleep.
time, mate.
No,
Look at you, man.
This is why sleeping is so important.
Selfish.
Because you wouldn't want to, if you're that type of person that sleeps throughout the whole day, yeah, you're just basically missing out on so many like deeds, bro, like good deeds, fam.
You need
Rather-
some energy as well.
Bro, you're robbing yourself, man, if you're sleeping all day.
Yourself, fam. Don't sleep on the job back.
No, I can't
I
lie,
think you
this
need
is-
energy in it, so I think.
You know, it's very common though, because I remember I used to do this all the time. I never knew, like, I thought this was what it was meant to be, like you just fast and staying. Yeah, eat,
Trust me,
sleep. Yeah,
learn
literally,
about-
bro.
learn
That's what
about
I
sleep
thought it
cycles,
was.
yeah.
Eat, sleep 1 page, yeah.
Learn about sleep cycles, yeah. Sleep in the afternoon for 1.5 hours. You wake up a bit energized.
Is this with Dalil, yeah?
Scientists.
Last time, man,
Sleep cycle, man.
No, it actually works. That's what I used to do. Just basically after
1.5 hours or
Tarawih,
3
sleep
hours.
like 2-3 hours, pray Fajr, stay up a little bit, and just sleep for like, I don't know,
Yeah, I feel like
3-4 hours.
That's the
Oh,
best way, you
first.
know.
No, I hear that.
For me,
And you're
me
energetic for the
personally,
whole
I feel
day.
like after you pray Tarawih and go home, sleep, and then wake up for suhoor and then eat, pray Fajr, and just wait for sunrise and then take a little nap. Depends on your timetable though, innit?
Yeah, because some people have school in it.
School, then
2 times in a row, man. 2 times in a row.
When I was doing
We
my
are targeted, fam.
when I was doing my GCSEs all in Ramadan, innit?
did you say?
Yeah, this is like when it was done. Listen.
So 1 year ago, innit? Huh? Say it on the podcast, Jake. I'm joking.
Nah, but basically what I used to do is I used to like like stay up for suhoor, and then I'll sleep like after Fajr, I'll sleep like 2 hours, and then go to my thing for my exam, and I'll be finished, bro. Like, so if you're doing the exam stuff like that, or you're like in school, don't do that. How get your sleep, man? Because it'll finish you.
Hold on. Don't tell me you're one of those guys that say, "Oh, I got an exam today."
Oh, you know, no,
this is getting too long.
No, there was bare man. No, there was bare man who said that.
That's just obvious.
Obviously, it's incorrect, innit? They know it's incorrect themselves.
No, they don't know it's incorrect from it.
Let's move on.
They're just ignorant to it. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Let's move away from the sleeping now, because we can talk for days, innit? Let's talk about the food now.
Food.
The eating. Excessive eating.
Now, before the food, let's talk about how you get the food, the process, helping out in the kitchen and that. Tell me.
No, seriously.
No, like for real. What do you mean? What do you mean?
But you get rewarded for feeding a fasting.
Do you know you're most likely your mum's cooking for you, innit? Or your sisters and that. Bro, they're fasting as well some more time, you know that?
Yeah,
so like you have to help out in that, man. Wallahi. And the Prophet ﷺ كان على خدمة أهله, bro. He used to be at the service of his family. You feel me? Why you want to get
Nice, he's right, bro. He's right. Help out.
I'm being real. Like you don't. No one's telling you to chop onions and that and dash it in the thing, bro. Just like help out and that, innit? Like,
Even just like set the table, whatever. Like do something.
Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, it builds love and like harmony in the family.
Sits at the table, just waits for everything to be.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's gonna be me.
But also excessively eating.
That's a problem as well.
Yeah, wallahi, it's a problem for me.
I can't even excessively eat, bro. After iftar, bro, like couple bites, yeah, my belly's got.
Your belly's doing.
Bro, you say you don't excessively eat.
No, we don't though. Compared to normal.
Back at the receipts.
Bro, you know, throughout the day your stomach gets smaller, innit, because you haven't eaten. And iftar comes,
it's true.
and then you munch. You take like what, a couple bites, yeah, and you're just full.
Fam. If you know you have to get up for Tarawih in a bit, like you're gonna be like, if you eat bears, you're not gonna get up, bro. You're gonna be tired.
One thing that's underestimated is fruits, bro. Wallahi, fruits, yeah.
Bro,
man, they munch fruits, bro.
Do that little dash to the toilet, fam.
Man, they munch fruits.
It's long for you. It's long for you.
Nah, I know some man that pray the first 2 rakats of Tarawih and then they say, I need to go to the toilet. They come back for witr.
Hey, that's not the important one. Man, if you're going to the masjid, yeah, don't just pray 2 and chill at the back talking to the other man the minute. Don't be that guy, fam. Pray your Tarawih, fam, because you're distracting people that are praying.
It's not a social gathering.
Don't be that guy.
Like it's not a social gathering, isn't it? People like,
yeah, well, I'm
people are praying, like, go pray.
There's man that are actually deep in the Quran and that, and then you're just at the back talking about random stuff. Like,
yeah.
But I think about
last time they were talking, what were they talking about? Easy enough.
It's love, innit? It's minor.
Bro,
but the thing is,
praying, yeah, and you're talking about this worldly stuff, and at least whisper side, innit? But you're talking like,
but deep, if you see the whole message praying, you're hearing the Quran being recited,
guilty, innit,
man?
Would you not feel guilty seeing everyone praying? You're just sitting there talking about
once a year, man. Then, bro, 1 month a year, fam. Come on, man.
Even when the Quran's being recited, you shouldn't speak.
Stag.
That's stags with S.
Yeah. Alright, let's move on.
Building habits. This is the last point, yeah.
Bro, that's
before that, can I say one thing?
We kind of touched on that though, like the schedule.
Yeah, we kind of touched on it, but I know us have got some gems for us.
No, about this, I got something else to say first.
Go on.
Basically, I want to say that obviously, if you're able to,
Karen.
Obviously, if you're Muslim, you're saying you're resident, etc. Like, if it's obligatory upon you to fast, then it's obligatory upon you to learn the fiqh of fasting. I think that's very important to know. A lot of Muslims, people are kind of ignorant. So I think
the course.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. That on the MCL portal, there's I think Ustad Abdul Wahid did
look at the camera
from Risala, the Maliki Fiqh one.
But there's a course today and tomorrow. Like?
And there's another one today and tomorrow. It's going to be on the portal, inshallah. So
you can come on site.
If you want to know how to,
but
£10 on site.
But it's going to come. The episode's going to come out today, innit?
They're going to come today, bro. It's going to come
tomorrow.
No, but listen.
Yeah, say no.
If you guys want to learn the fiqh of Ramadan, it's going to be on the MCL portal. So make sure you guys study that before Ramadan, innit? So you can know what actually nullifies your fast and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. It's important to know that kind of stuff because you might do something that nullifies your fast, but you don't even know.
You don't know, yeah.
So it's important that, inshallah, that you learn about all of that stuff. The makruhat, the sunan and all that stuff.
But yeah, anyone want to add anything?
Nah, man, just maximize, man. Wallah, just sometimes you might feel lazy and like, just force it, man. Once you force it and you do it, you're like, wow, I feel nice. Like, you actually feel better than if you just stayed back and not taking that risk. Feel me? Wallah, just force it, man. If you're feeling lazy,
read a lot of Quran as well, man.
Yeah.
Time wisely.
Bro, imagine reading one harf is 10 deeds in it, and that can be multiplied however it wants. Imagine Ramadan, man.
That's
Imagine Ramadan, bro. May
Definitely
Allah give us the tawfiq to do acts of ibadah, man.
Heist there, fam. Can't lie.
But I think try and read, like, do tilawat as much as you can.
As much.
I think that's like the bulk of your time should be is reading the Quran, pondering of the Quran. That's what it should be.
Who's got the thing, man? That timetable to complete the Quran.
I'll go one.
It's 4 pages.
What the Ibn Taymiyyah one?
I saw the Ibn Taymiyyah one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
That's what I thought as well.
I'll send it to Zakane. We'll put on the
I think I'm
little.
gonna use that
attach
still.
it.
And I just, however many times I want to finish the Quran, just do that much juz a day. So if you want to finish the Quran 2 times, do 2 juz a day. If you want to finish 4, just do 4 juz a day. That's how it works. Not do it once.
If you do 4 pages after every salah, you can. If obviously if there's
5
a
pages
minimum.
or
If you want to finish 1 juz by the end of the month.
Or is it 4 pages
One
after every
khatam,
salah?
sorry, by the end of the month. Huh?
4 pages after every
After
salah.
every salah, you know.
And even think if it's in Laylatul Qadr, obviously the odd nights, you should do even more. Like
Yeah, no, obviously I think you should do more than 4 pages. But that's
yeah, but as it obviously
That's
do what you can do. You can do it.
Do as much as you
But I
I
can.
can't like that. 4 pages after every salah I don't think it's practical because people have to pray Maghrib and they're going to break the Suhoor. No, I don't think people are going to read 4 pages after Maghrib or Isha.
after eating that, no?
Let's just say 20 pages a day because that's
Yeah,
what
20
it is.
pages a day, innit?
Just do it.
I'd say do because Fajr people normally like up in it. I say
Yeah.
just go
Yeah.
hard in Fajr
yeah,
and then take a break or
You
sleep
know, I
whatever
say
and
that.
Dhuhr come again.
Just do as much as you can. Some days you're gonna feel
Yeah.
even more motivated to read more than your schedule, innit? Just read as much as you can.
Yeah.
Just make sure you at least finish it at once.
Yeah,
Because say you're
but even though it's like we're saying all of this, like a person knows like his situation,
Yeah.
but just
Yeah.
do like
Best,
better
yeah.
than you were doing before. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, progress and that
And if you feel
progress.
more motivated, like you're feeling better to read or something, like, just do more. Don't go over your thing because maybe there'll be one day where you don't feel like reading as much,
Yeah,
and then
that's what I'm saying.
you'll like make up for it. But don't get lazy as well. Don't
Yeah,
let that.
I think
get you
have a
lazy.
minimum like target.
But no
Yeah,
maximum.
Yeah, no maximum. Yeah,
maximum, yeah.
unlimited basically.
No roof.
Yeah.
Just the foundation.
Yeah, because I think people will
Alright.
surprise themselves, you know,
Why you man
with how
laughing
much they
at
can
that?
actually do.
But yeah, I think that was a good episode.
Yeah.
Long enough. Inshallah.
How was that there?
That's a chair film.
But yeah, anyways, with that being said, we're gonna end the episode there. May Allah accept our Ramadan.
I mean,
I mean,
Ramadan balighna Ramadan as well. Still got a couple of days.
yeah.
literally, fam.
Days still, yeah. But yeah, man. With that being said, this is the last episode of the first season. Next season, inshallah, we'll bring.
Nope, don't say it.
I'll say it, yeah.
It's gonna be a
They'll
good,
see,
good
inshallah.
season, inshallah. Good season, good season.
So stay tuned. Share this with your friends and families. And yeah, with that being said, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum
Alaikum
salam.
salam.
Wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.